McGlowan is a Fox News political analyst. Zerlina Maxwell is a Democratic strategist. They both join us today to discuss this. So, ladies, from what we can see right now, there has to be some compromise, but Washington is once again finding itself in a mood of saying, let's make a deal. Is there a deal to be made here? Will we find any compromise? Angela?
There is a deal to be made here, and the American people have spoken. Even though they elected President Obama for 4 more years, they elected the same Congress, and the congressional approval rating is about at 10%. So what both parties need to do is stop the partisan politics and go together and not leave the negotiating table until a deal is done. Working in Washington, D.C. as long as I have, Kelly, it's all about compromise. Boehner needs to get his party in line. They do have a divided party in the Republican Party with the Tea Partiers. And then Harry Reid and President Obama, they need to come together.
Zerlina, Angela lays it out on the line there, particularly about the Republicans dividing themselves because of the Tea Party. Can the president hope to break that divide within the Republican Party and bring his own Democrats to the table to compromise?
Well, it's really not President Obama's responsibility to bring Republicans to the table.
But he almost has to, doesn't he? He has to find some way to put an olive branch out there, doesn't he?
Well, he's already passed a bill. The Senate has already passed a bill maintaining the tax cuts on those who make under $250,000. And it's on Speaker John Boehner at this point to simply pass the Senate bill. And if nothing is done, it is on Speaker John Boehner, not on the president, whether or not the tax cuts expire on January 1.
But at the end of the day, Zerlina, it'll be the American people that are hurt. Yes, there is a bill in the Senate, and yes, Boehner could pass it, but he said that he does not want to raise taxes. And the Congressional Budget Office said, Kelly, if we do what the Republicans want us to do, it will increase economic growth by 1.5%. If we do what President Obama wants us to do, and what Zerlina just mentioned, it would raise economic growth by 1.25%. So it's more than just tax cuts. It's more than just tax increases. We have to actually reform entitlement programs. There's a lot that needs to be done before January 1st.
Zerlina, what say you about this? Is Angela right? 1.5%? I understand it could be as high as 1.7% as well, if they find some agreement.
I think the number one thing that we need to focus on is that while the country has elected the same Congress and everyone is taking their old positions, Democrats have new leverage here. And they have the power in this negotiation to simply let us go off the cliff, which really isn't a cliff. It's more like a slope. And any tax increases would be gradual, and they wouldn't really affect ordinary Americans in the dramatic way that the Republicans want you to think. And so after January 1, even if the Democrats do not shift at all and allow the tax increases to go into effect, they can then go back to Congress and say, let's pass a tax cut for people making under $250,000, and that is, you know, how can Republicans be against a tax cut?
Zerlina, we can't blame the Republicans on this. Listen, the American people, they want leadership, and if the Congress does nothing and all the Bush tax cuts expire, that's why it is a fiscal cliff. It is not a slope. People will lose jobs, and even if they go back to the Congress and try to fix it after the damage is done, the damage has already been done.
Well, look,
that will impact our stock market as well.
Really, the damage that could be done should this fiscal cliff be passed, or actually if we fall into it, is $2,000 on everybody's head and shoulders in terms of tax increases, and perhaps more for those who can't even afford to do that. So when you look at this, it is desperate times right now. Congress has to step up and do something. The president has to find a way of leading Congress, all members of Congress, Republican and Democrats, to the table, and they have to find some compromise. If they don't do that, what do we stand to lose?
Compromise requires both sides making concessions. The president and the Senate have put forth a proposal, and Republicans need to make concessions and come to an agreement. It is not all on the president all the time. He just won an election. He has political capital.
All right.
And so it's up to John Boehner to lead his party.
All right,
Angela, the Senate has already passed.
We're going to have to leave it there. Zerlina, you get the last word this time. Zerlina Maxwell, Angela McGlowan. A lot of work ahead of for the president as well as the members of Congress. Thank you very much, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.